Yes, if there's one thing that hasn't changed over the past 35 years or so of home computing, it's printers. Look, I've been printing out on one of mine this morning for some stuff for this. And look, it's just kind of all gone horribly wrong down there, and the toner's coming off of my hands because, you know, printers. And I sometimes look at peripherals here on ChinnyVision and things like that, and I've never actually done a printer. I bought a printer about 3 or 4 years ago, a Star 24-pin that came with that Archimedes that was rot inside. It's missing a part, and I still haven't got around to doing it. But I thought it would be fun to get in the modular printer that once tried to kill me. Yes, this is an Amstrad DMP 2000, the printer I had growing up in our house. One day in about 1995, my Canon BJ100 had packed up, and I had an assignment to hand in. So I thought, I'll get the Amstrad out. I've got some carbon paper. I'll get the Amstrad out, and I will use that on the PC. For whatever reason, to cut a long story short, I went to plug it into the PC and there was a blue flash and I got an electric shock, and it wasn't, it hurt quite a bit. So here we are with another one. We'll talk about that later. Now, this isn't my one. I bought this one on eBay. I've been looking for one for quite a while. And they do go for more money than you'd expect. So thank you for the Patreon people for supporting the channel. This is a DMP 2000, Amstrad's second printer. Let's get it out the box. Should we get it out the box? I have unboxed this on Patreon. Look, I'll insert some footage of me doing that and me doing something very stupid with it as well. Oh, we've got a printer cover. Viking computer. I sniffed that. There we go. I'll open that up, shall I? This is an Amstrad DMP 2000 printer, sold to me boxed and apparently unused, but it has been used by someone. As I mentioned, Amstrad's second printer, 1985, this came out. And in fact, I have two things here. I have an article from November 1985 from Amstrad Computer User with a review of it, and it says the original Amstrad DMP1 was a badge-engineered Cisco GP500. The problem with the DMP1 was A, it was very slow, B, it wasn't Epson compatible. This printer is Epson compatible. It will work from anything from an Amstrad CPC and an NC100, the Amstrad Spectrums, right up to a modern PC with a parallel port on it, because it will take an Epson 9-pin driver, LQ something or other, and you can just run it. And these cost £159 new, which was astonishing value for money, really. I've got some adverts from Amstrad Computer User from the same month. Sorry for the changing light levels, by the way. It's one of those days where it's supposed to be cloudy all day, and now it's kind of getting sunny spells. But all we've got here is, a Brother printer, a 1009, was £200. Gemini printer, £218. A Canon, I think that's also a 9, probably a 9-pin as well, £304. So as you can see, the prices are, this was a cheap printer, the Amstrad thing of putting something out fairly cheaply. Amstrad Computer User says this is based on the Reitman F printer. I always thought it was the Reitman C. Don't know, but it says the Reitman F retailed for twice the price of this printer. There's no reason why Amstrad Computer User would get it wrong, since they're an official Amstrad publication run in the same building. So they would know what they were basing their printers on. Built in Hong Kong by Amstrad. Amstrad actually put a factory in Hong Kong for their printers because they needed a lot of them for not just to do these, but also all the printers for the PCW. Remember, the PCW each model sold with a printer, and that's a lot of printers. PCW sells 7-8 million, something like that. That's a lot of printers you've got to make. But you may find these made in the UK, Scotland to be precise. The Timex factory, when Amstrad took away the manufacture of the Sinclair Spectrum from Timex, they actually gave them a contract to assemble these printers. I mean, I assume the mechanisms stuff perhaps came in from Reitman, I don't know, and then Amstrad just assembled them. It's a 9-pin printer, so it uses a little head in there with little pins in it, and that strikes through the ribbon onto the paper. I don't want to ruin the magic of ChinnyVision, but this bit's been done at the very end. Just going to blow everything wide open there, because I forgot. Again, usual thing, no script. I got hold of online something terribly exciting. Well, terribly exciting to me anyway, and probably no one else. I've got the original press release for the DMP 2000, put together by Michael Joyce Consultants, which will be, well, Nick Hewer will have almost certainly had a hand in this. They are the company that Nick Hewer used to work for, might have even been his company, in fact, and they did all of Amstrad's PR. So, for further information, Michael Joyce Consultants Limited, 19 Garrick Street, London. Garrick Club members? Anyway, so we've got this from the end of 1985, Amstrad press information. The Amstrad DMP 2000 dot matrix printer, correspondence quality at dot matrix prices. The DMP 2000 is a further milestone in Amstrad's range of low-cost, high-performance computer products. And we got some details here. Single cut sheet or continuous paper can be used, and the unusual flatbed design allows paper to be easily inserted and aligned for both tractor feed and friction feed. Printing speeds over 100 characters per second make rapid work of lengthy listings. That will be in the draft quality mode. A very wide range of typefaces, complete ASCII and international character set, unless you plug this into a CPC where it's only got a 7-bit interface. But the DMP 2000 is a full 8-bit printer. Lots of facts and figures down here. See for yourself. Kind of all the kind of printer stuff there. It's a 9x9 dot matrix printer, 105 characters per second maximum. That will be in the draft mode. That'll be very, very dotty. This is old school. This is a proper photograph, and it's got an example of the best quality printing. At the bottom, the Amstrad DMP 2000 printer. This new high-quality printer takes both tractor and sheet feed paper and has 144 combinations of type style. And this is how they used to do press releases. They'd send you the document and a printed photograph for you to put into your publication. And it's not the same as the one Amstrad. No, it's not the same one as Amstrad Computer User use. Or do they on the second page? No, they do not. Sun's gone in again. It comes with this excellent manual, the era where Amstrad did these really, really good manuals. Most printer manuals will just be a few sheets. Here you go, that's your printer, you print stuff on it. This comes with, it's got chapters and everything, probably about 100 pages, something like that, in this ring-bound volume that Amstrad kind of favoured at the time. The idea was you wouldn't have a spine on it, so you could actually just hold it open like that. You see, Amstrad do love you. They do love you. It's all got the details in there, all about it, showing you how to fit your ribbon. And it's got listings in here, but a lot of them are just for Amstrad Basic, but actually it also does things for other basics as well. So it's got Microsoft Basic, BBC Basic, and Commodore Basic. You will not be able to use this on a C64 or Commodore machine unless you have a parallel interface. The BBC can use this printer straight off. Indeed, mine came with this ribbon cable that was all tidily done together, because I was trying to work out what that was. That's a Beeb printer cable. So whoever was using this had it on a BBC micro. And why not? Just because it's an Amstrad. It will work with, as I say, it's a completely standard printer interface to the point where it will work with a modern computer with a parallel interface, providing you've got the driver. It's standard, unlike the DMP1. The manual's really good. It's got loads of listings in there. It's got some listings at the back only for the Amstrad CPC for screen dumps and stuff. DMP 2000 electronic typewriter. I believe that lets you just press a key on the Amstrad and it will just go straight out to the printer. But yeah, there's listings in here, so for other stuff for Amstrad Basic, Microsoft Basic, BBC Basic, and Commodore Basic. It allows you to kind of activate options in the printer from Basic, such as italics, bold, underline, LNQ, and all sorts of things. I mean, this is nice. This is really good. Amstrad didn't have to do this, but I think they probably thought, hey, if we can knock this printer out really cheaply, we're not just going to have Amstrad users buying it, we're going to have other people, as evidenced by the fact the BBC owner had an Amstrad printer next to their BBC Micro. And before we look around the unit itself, I'm going to say one thing, because it's going to come up in the comments below. People are going to say, oh, I had one of those DMP 2000s. It was rubbish. I much preferred a Star, blah, 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 blah. And remember how cheap this printer is, $159, compared to, I mean, do I have a listing here for a Star, Data Star, 300 quid. Well, that does come with some ribbons at the same time. And the other thing is, these things had very long lives in terms of sales. It wasn't just one printer for 1 year and Amstrad bring out a slightly better printer the following year. I think they were still knocking out these or variants of these into the 90s. And of course, by then, they are looking extremely aged compared to the LC10 and the other printers around. I've got other printers come down in price. We're talking here, though, November 1985, when this thing came out. Yes, it's not the best thing ever, but by goodness, it was cheap. And it ain't a Sinclair printer either. I mean, everything's standard. So if we have a look at it, lighting's so consistent today, everything just keeps changing. Right, if you have a look at this thing, I'm actually going to take this smoke lid off. It comes off this smoke lid. It looks exactly like your top of your record deck, and it just flips up and down on the back. It's not obligatory. It just kind of, you can take it off, but it keeps the dust and stuff off your printer. I'm going to take it off there for now. I'm also going to fold in the retractable legs. And the reason it's got retractable legs is because you might have listing paper underneath the printer. So you can put your listing paper under the printer and it will take it up, and see, they've thought of everything. Let's bring you in close. I haven't cleaned this. I don't see much point at the moment, really. So I'm trying to hold this thing. It's not as heavy as my Star, but it is quite heavy. I'm going to put it back down again, actually. Right, I've just tried to get some light onto the front so you can actually see in. A little bit dusty, but hey, I don't think it's been used for at least 30, probably 30 years at least. So you've got the front controls. This is where the paper goes in. You've got these little flaps here. Now you can see the little notches there, and that's for pulling through the tractor feed paper, the listing paper. We'll see some of that in a minute. And it just kind of hooks on there, and you can adjust these controls here for the width. You've got some handy dandy markings there either side just to show you where you need to be. And to activate that, there's a switch on top. So you have tractor feeder there that will put it through via that. We have friction feed where that still moves, but actually it will take in normal paper. You just need to line it up and push it through. It's not as simple as just putting printer paper in there, though, like a normal modern printer. You do need to line it up and just put it through. You've got a control on the side for just adjusting the paper. And you can also control it through buttons here. Online button means it's online in communication with the computer. Form feed will feed through, is it half the paper or the entire sheet of paper? And line feed will just go just through one line at a time. You've got to be careful. You can wreck these printers by fighting that with that, and it just kind of ruins the belt inside if you kind of got the motor going and then you hold that. As I did as a kid, and our DMP 2000, when I was growing up, had a very loosey-goosey controls there because I'd kind of wrecked it. Just by kind of trying to fight it or stop things getting in it, because it's a printer, right? You are going to have a battle with it at some times. And of course, kids have got no patience at all. I'll bring it round. It's BAB approved, if you can see that there. British Electronical Approvals Board. It's been approved by someone. We take it around, let's bring it around the back here, so just you can see in there. So we're coming on the print head in a minute, but what you got on the back here, and let's tip it up. You have got a Centronics port there, standard. Again, used on many, many devices. This is a very standard device. You've got some dip switches there, which you can refer to the manual about. It says different character sets for different countries. It should come preset, but if your printer is misbehaving, chances are a dip switch needs changing. We have something marked ground over there, not detailed in the manual. If I can just catch the light there, that's the print head there. It's marked hot because it does get hot when it punches out the pins. The ribbon goes through that guide there and then runs through the bottom there in that kind of between that metal guide, I think. Yeah, it goes between the metal thing there and the actual print head. And as I say, it does say it can get hot in operation. There's another control here which adjusts the height of the print head. So if you're printing thicker material, you will just adjust it up and pull it up. That also has the effect of changing how hard the ribbon is struck. So if you've got normal kind of paper and then you put it right down, you'll get darker print. If you've got normal paper and it's right up, it will be fainter print. But the intention is to just let you put thicker material through whilst maintaining the same print quality or darkness. Ribbons. Now the ribbons on these are in common with the Reitman C and F, which I believe you both use the same ribbons as he gets ink all over his hands. These are hen's teeth to get hold of new. There is one supplier in Spain who's got them, or says they've got them, but yeah, if you're not in Spain, forget about trying to order them. They want all sorts of stuff. Luckily, this one came with a ribbon. The ribbons are good for quite a few uses, but you will need to re-ink it. You can try and revive your ribbon with WD-40, but to be honest, it's probably a bit beyond that. So I've used stamp ink to renew mine. And if it's water-based, you may want to add a little bit of WD-40 just to stop it all evaporating. Because, again, you just need to, and it's a little bit of a messy process. There's the ribbon you see there, that's all there is, right? There's no spool of ribbon inside these little cartridges. They're just sprung, and it just travels round and round and round and round. It's not like a star printer ribbon where there's loads and loads of ribbon in there. So these things used to run out really, really quickly. Again, people might say, oh, well, that's typical Amstrad. They'd want you to use lots of consumables. But this was just how Reitman did it. As I say, this is an off-the-shelf design. So, and it just clips in there like that and just goes in there like that. So, yeah, I mean, it is just how Reitman did it. You can't really blame Amstrad for this one, although I'm sure old Uncle Alan was more than pleased to find out that you would need loads. There you go, that's how you get it back in there. Avoid, see, look, my fingers are already inky. Got inky fingers again. So, yeah, I must have inked this properly, because if it hadn't done it properly, that ink, I did this 3 days ago, that ink would have dried by now. I've put some footage in showing you me re-inking this. It was dropping some stamp ink onto the ribbon, then wiping it with a kitchen towel and ending up with black hands. But it worked fine. It worked absolutely fine. There's some footage going in now, hopefully, of the first thing this printer printed in many, many years. You know, you could buy these things in places like Dixon's because it's Amstrad. So, you know, they could just get this stuff out there into places where other manufacturers couldn't. So, you know, they were just incredibly widespread, incredibly cheap, and they do a job. I think what we need to do is get this thing linked up to a computer. So I'm going to get the ink off my hands. Oh, there's an on-off switch on the side there as well, by the way. But there's nothing on the other side. Very simple device. And the friction and tractor, which we talked about, just selects which kind of print modes you want. We need to get this thing linked up to a computer so we can actually see it running. So let me go and get a computer and wash my hands. That bit's important. Right, so I have put up a setup here on the table. Oh boy, it's been fun getting this together. A CPC. I don't have a CTM monitor. I'm ashamed. Actually, I sold it to someone who really wanted one, so I'm not ashamed to say, because I don't have the space for monitors, and as we all know, monitors tend to blow up. So I just have this Acorn for ChinnyVision. The DMP 2000 is plugged in to the printer, and sorry for the pigeon noises. They're on the chimney doing pigeon things. So hopefully, and sorry for the book there as well, but it's doing a stereo recording of the DMP 2000 because we're going to turn it on and hopefully it's going to make some noises. I also need to thank Robert Barton, who got in touch via Twitter. Thank you to Robert for sending me the Amstrad CPC printer lead, because I didn't have one, because this one came with a BBC Micro lead. So thanks to Robert for that. So, right, here we are in my kitchen with a monitor that's going to absolutely cause the Amstrad people to go nuts. I'm sorry. It's easier for me to use my CPC, all my computers on an LCD. It just is, for space reasons. But we have the manual. We do have the DMP 2000 manual. So we can do a little test and see how cruddy my edge connector is, because I didn't clean it off beforehand. So no idea if this is going to work. Right, need to find the listing here. Let's print. Okay. Right, let's try this. You see, that's why Amstrad give you that style of thing. So Amstrad Basic is print. Print. I've done this for years. #8. Hello, this is ChinnyVision. Oh, I need to make sure that's set on tractor as well, because otherwise it won't work. Oh my, right. I feel quite nervous. I feel surprisingly nervous about this endeavour. Right. Okay. Let me get my phone out and see if I can. Oh no, let's just do it. Here we go. Printer isn't online. Should try again. Boys and girls, do we think I need to clean the edge connector? I think I need to clean the edge connector. Right, 2 seconds. Okay, well, I've kind of nearly got it working. It has printed out some nonsense, but it is now talking. So hopefully now, when I do this, there's a number of listings in the manual how to access all the printer's commands in BASIC. You don't really, well, I mean, if you're doing programming, you might want that, but let's go and do something a little bit more ambitious. As long as I've got it on the HXC card, that is. Right, so I've written my script for ChinnyVision there, and hopefully, I'm not going to advance this on because I don't want to waste this tractor feeder paper, so I wanted to put it all on one for now, but we'll do some other printing later onto single sheets. Right, how do I do this? Print text. Hopefully, this should just work. The whole point of these things is it should just work. Unless Mini Office is expecting a DMP1, in which case, who knows what will happen. I'm going to get my phone recording so I can get a nice close-up of that print head for you. I'm going to get that on. It's going to be down there. So I have my hand in the way, but just just so you can see it doing its thing. We're going to go print text and go. Oh, questions. 1 copy. Don't think that went quite entirely to plan. Gonna stop? You're gonna stop? You're gonna stop? Thank you. Stop. Stop. Yeah, now I remember how our thing on there got wrecked, because printers have a habit of just feeding through paper as long as they want to, and you'd end up with you leave the thing alone, come back and find you've got reams and reams and reams of tractor feed of paper on the floor where the printer's just gone and done its thing. Because it worked. It worked. I think it's double spaced everything. I'm not sure if that's a setting in Mini Office or if it's got a problem or there's a dip switch problem on the back. Got you nice and close so you can see the print quality. I have just re-inked this ribbon, so it may be a little bit too saturated. That's the problem with re-inking ribbons. It will take a little while to settle into how it should be from the factory. You can see it's not the best print quality in the world. It's a 9x9 matrix at the end of the day. So it's going to be at very limited resolution. I think that this isn't draft mode. I think this is normal mode. I think you can have software that can also do more passes as well. In fact, I definitely remember there was one product available. Amstrad actually used to advertise it, advert in there that would actually do like 8 passes across your letters to give really good quality on these old printers. And you can see there as well when it was printing, it's not exactly fast, even in this kind of standard mode. Draft mode, if you're doing listings, it can hammer through it. But once you start getting into this kind of slower 2-pass mode, it's slower. So yeah, let's get back out again. You'll also have noticed when I was doing that the print computer was tied up for a little bit until everything had spooled through to the printer, even on that small amount of text. The printer actually has 2K of RAM. It is upgradable. Annoyingly, my DMP 2000, my dad upgraded it to 8K. So it can actually, you put a little memory chip inside and it has suddenly got more memory. So at least it would spool the job and then the printer would carry on and you could do what you like on the computer. Let's do something else. So here we are in the Mini Office 2 graphics suite, and we are going to print a pie chart. I've put some data in. We will do a pie chart like that. We'll use data set 1. Isolate all segments, no. Isolate CPC, yes. It's actually saying to me here, do I want DMP ones or Epson compatible? We are Epson compatible. So we're going to go E. It's not terribly slow. Perhaps I was impatient as a kid. I mean, I was printing out those PDFs on my laser printer and they took forever. And you can still see here, if you can hear me, the Amstrad is still completely tied up because it has no buffer. Can't do anything. CPC spooling it out at 2K basically at a time, so that's all the printer can do. It's just finishing off here. Here's the graph I did by modern standards. Obviously not very good, very crude, but fine for your homework or printout or something like that. And again, Mini Office isn't great for this stuff. It was cheap. You could get proper digital research sold proper graphics applications running under CPM that did far better than this. But I mean, this is what you'd have been using at home. You wouldn't have been spending, what, 70, 80 pounds or something. Yeah, probably getting on for that. Say 40 or 50 on that kind of application, plus the spreadsheet application and all the rest of it. You'd have had Mini Office and done your homework on that. So that's a quick look at the Amstrad DMP 2000 printer. It's good for things like this, printing out your schoolwork, charts and stuff. And it was very, very cheap. I'm sorry I've not been able to do the full demonstrations today. Clearly the screen dump went horribly wrong, and we've got double spacing on our other stuff. That's just a function of the fact the CPC here has a 7-bit printer port. The DMP 2000 is an 8-bit standard interface. It's just the CPC has 7-bit for whatever reason Amstrad decided. And there is a small hack you can do by blocking off one of the pins on the printer port that's non-destructive, that fixes all that. I had to do it back in the day with sellotape, and then it would be fine if you didn't have the Amsoft cable, and just I went to Tandy to buy one, and yeah, just had those problems. But the print quality on text is good enough. Back and no one would have noticed. Remember, everyone was still using typewriters and things, so it's kind of fine. I find the font a little bit interesting, but it's clearly optimized for a 9-pin printer. It kind of does the job if you didn't have anything before this. So you could print off a letter to the gas board, you could do your homework, you could do all the stuff for just $159, and we saw how much other printers cost. It's noisy, yeah. It's slow, yes. Come to think of it, it used to interfere with the television in our living room as well, so you couldn't do it when your mother was watching Coronation Street. But on the other hand, my dad used to use this to print off things every Christmas he'd give to customers to tell them what they could order off him, and he'd have this thing going all day, and you could hear it from miles away, and it'd be going on NLQ mode, near letter quality, so it'd be going really slowly, and he'd print off 100 sheets on tractor feeder paper, tear off the perforations like yay, and there you go, customer gets one of those each to know what they're going to order in time for Christmas. And it did its job. $159, you can't, it's not going to set the world alight. It's certainly, by modern standards, it's still everything a printer is, frustrating, annoying, and all the rest of it. But for your Amstrad, it matches better. It matches better than this Acorn monitor matches my CPC. Yeah, they were good. So thank you for watching this ChinnyVision and sticking with me. It's been a bit disjointed, but hopefully you might do something else with this printer in the near future when I get it working a little bit better.